everyone, and welcome to Civic Platform. This is your host Zuher Almusre. The month of Ramadan, not just a normal month for the Muslim community here in Winnipeg. It's a month of fasting, and every Muslim in the world will celebrate this month in different way. But here in Winnipeg, our celebration, it's a little bit different, and between this celebration, there is some difficulties and some challenging. So to talk about this topic, we have in our studio today Ruheen Aziz, board member of Manitoba Islamic Association, MIA. Ruheen, thank you for accepting our invitation. We are very glad and pleased to have you in Civic Platform.
Thank you, Zuher, for having me. I really appreciate it.
So let's start with introduce yourself. Who are you and what are you doing?
I'm Ruheen Aziz. I am a board member for Manitoba Islamic Association. I've been in Canada for about 33 years. I am a mom to two boys and a wife, and I'm a business owner here in Winnipeg.
Great.
Yeah.
What that mean, when we have Ramadan, we celebrate this, what that means for the Muslim community?
You know, in Winnipeg and in Manitoba, it's different. I think, and even in Canada, I think there's an approach to it that may be different than back home. Mm-hmm. So here, it's all about community. It's about getting together. It's about being involved in the masjid and having iftars and doing events, and that brings the community together and the families together. If we didn't have that, then it could be. You could feel very isolated and miss back home and miss family. But I think the communities do a really good job in getting people together.
Great. When I'm preparing for this episode, I wrote many comments from different people. They said the people here in Winnipeg, they have a special celebration. They are more happy than the Muslims in their home country.
Right.
Is that true or
Yes.
what?
I think so. We have traveled back for Ramadan and Eid to Pakistan once in a while. And I did find that it was less of a celebration, maybe because it's very routine for them. It's an Islamic country, prayer is called all the time. They get together all the time in the masjids. Here, I think we put in an extra celebration in the month of Ramadan, not just for us as adults, but also for the kids and for the community that's not Muslim. They have to be educated and they have to know about what the importance of Ramadan is. So we do put extra emphasis here, I think, and I think it turns out really well because it's a time that everybody looks forward to.
There is an advantage we, as a Muslim community, take it from this month to make our community more strong and more connected to each other.
Right. Yes, I do think so. I think the opportunity of getting together for iftar and the opportunity of getting together for the nightly prayers, the tarawih, it brings out a lot of the community members that may not have attended the community centers or the mosques before. It shows them that there's people here, part of the community, that are welcoming, and that you can be part of the community. You can either volunteer, you can lead a program, you can just attend as an attendee, but that there is a community here to support and engage with. And we see a lot of people that come through the masjids that maybe we've never seen throughout the year, even on Jummahs. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice opportunity to give them some education about all the things that are available to them from their masjids and from their community members.
So there is a huge positive side, but some people,
Right.
They would like to see in the dark sometimes. They said we can't celebrate properly here. We are in a diverse city, and there is very hard to engage and celebrate the month. We face a lot of challenge. Our working hour, it's too long.
Right.
So how we can talk to these people when they
Right.
see Ramadan from this angle?
I think they have to understand that there's always challenges. Even back home, there's challenges. Maybe they didn't see them because it was very routine. Mm-hmm. A challenge that I found when we were visiting Pakistan is nothing opens until almost iftar time.
Yeah.
So all the shops are closed and everybody's resting. And I thought that was quite odd because after iftar, it's soon to be bedtime, but there the shops are open all night. So even your schedule turns upside down, right?
Yeah.
Even from a health perspective, you should be sleeping at night right? Or doing, doing some religious activities. So we thought that was different. And I think, yes, coming from different parts of the world, there is an adjustment period. It's not just for Ramadan, it's generally an adjustment period to the country and how it runs. MIA and many other organizations here in Manitoba and across Canada have been working with the city, the province, the federal government to train them, to give them more education on what some of our special celebrations are. And so, some of the initiatives have been to educate the teachers on what Ramadan is before it starts. We had a session for teachers to come and learn about Ramadan and what some of their students might face, why they may not be going to gym class once in a while, why they may not be eating at lunch. We've heard from community members that they don't want their kids to attend some maybe arts type activities during Ramadan. And so it is all about building bridges and coming together as a community and helping the people outside of the community understand what our needs are. And now we have really good support from the city here and the province. For example, yesterday, the mayor of Winnipeg held an iftar at City Hall. They've been doing this for a few years, but that's a really big deal for them to open up City Hall, to hold an event, to appreciate the religion and welcome community members. So, there's always two approaches to things. We could stay within the community and just have, complain or be upset, or we can think of ways to have a positive experience and invite people in. Manitoba Islamic Association recently did an outreach iftar. The purpose of this was to bring in people who are not Muslim, to show them what an iftar is, to talk about Ramadan. We had dignitaries from the government, we had people from the fire department, from the city, the province, and it's the role of large organizations like MIA, like CMWI, like ISA, to help grow and to help grow within the outside of the community and to educate. So, alhamdulillah, we're working on it.
And the mothers,
yes,
Muslim mothers, this is the month, there is a huge part for them.
Yes.
So, in our back home, it's she's role, because she's not required to work,
right,
not like here.
Right.
So the mothers here, they said, we already full of like a pressure,
yes,
to raise our
yes,
kids in Winnipeg.
Yes.
There is too many different cultures. So how we can take that advantage now we are in Ramadan,
right,
to raise our
right,
kids properly?
Yes. So we have a tremendous amount of volunteer opportunities for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have a teenager or a youth, for example, and you want them to get involved, there's opportunities at the masjid. This allows the family to come. It allows the parents to go for Taraweeh. It allows the kids to volunteer and be maybe with their friends or make new friends. Mm-hmm. And now we have a Taraweeh kids program. So you can drop your little ones, I think from 18 months to almost 10 years, you can drop them to the kids program. Mm-hmm. And we have teachers who are running these programs, and then that allows the mom to have a bit of a break. It is very difficult. You go to work 9 to 5, you come home, you must rest. But if you've got little ones running around, or even teenagers, there's no rest. Then you have iftar, then you have dinner, and then you have to do it all over again for 30 days. Yeah. So it can be challenging. Again, I think having a good group of community members around you, friends around you who are going through similar things and just motivating you is important. And this is why every Saturday we have an iftar at the Manitoba Islamic Association. Mm-hmm. The purpose of these iftars is to bring in community, for them to meet each other, maybe make some friends, see that anyone at any age can come and attend, and that there is an association here and a lot of groups here that are available for support in different languages and different cultures. We're all facing the same thing. It doesn't really matter where you are from back home. The struggles are the same for new immigrants and newcomers into the city. And the goal is to provide them as much support as possible so they have a positive experience.
Mm-hmm. So, we have a big challenge for our kids to teach them our own language.
Right.
Arabic, Urdu,
yes,
whatever the Muslims' background.
Correct.
Language is. And also we face also like another challenge to make them read our holy book, the Quran. Also, this is the month of Quran.
Correct.
How, as a mother, like you take that advantage and start working in their language and in their religion in the same time?
I think it all really depends on how long you've been here. So I'll give you the example. When we moved here, my parents, my mom had this one wish that every Ramadan we would finish the Quran once. So we would read one chapter every day and we would finish. That got instilled in me, right? And the reward for that was we would get $100. This is the reward. To this day, right, if I finish the Quran in Ramadan, my dad at 72 years old will give me $100. And so for me, it's not about the money. It's about the fact that it was a wish from the parents and I will do it. And of course, for my own self and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With our boys, asking them to come home from school, maybe they've had gym. Our son plays football and rugby, and he still goes to practice while he's fasting. For me to ask to read a whole chapter might be a little bit difficult, right? So what we've started saying is, can you at least read a page? And can you try to attend Tarawih? At least it will go in their ear. It's a good time to get together, to see, to hear it, right? And understand the value of the month. We sit after Maghrib. We'll have a quick conversation about a hadith or something that we learned about the religion. We'll listen to lectures together, right? Omar Salman has an amazing lecture series right now on Jannah. It's a discussion that we have in the house almost every second day. What are we going to do in Jannah? So the religion, inshallah, has to be portrayed to the kids, the youth, as a positive religion. A religion where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you and you try to do your best and be a good person. This is the main concept, is to be a good person, to give back, to volunteer, to help the needy. These are the pillars of Islam. And then working in the community, finding families that have similar values, that helps a lot.
So if we need to send a message for our youth,
right.
We are now in a diverse city. So what should they do, and what they should avoid to do here to make our picture as a Muslim people not strange, and especially we face the Islamophobia and different wrong picture about our religion. What's the message we have to send to our youth today?
When people don't know, they don't know. So if the community around us doesn't know what a Muslim is, who a Muslim is, what Islam is, then we can't blame them if they don't understand it. So we encourage our boys to be involved in the community, not just the Muslim community, but to volunteer at school, to help teachers and students learn about Ramadan, to be able to explain to them why we're not fasting. Maybe they also explain why we're going to have the day off on Eid, what the celebration is, very much like Christmas, right? And so we have to use examples that are relatable to the outside community. They appreciate Christmas as much as, and if not more, than we do Eid, right? And so if they know that there's a celebration, the teachers are a little bit more lenient. They may not have a test that day, right? They may be careful in giving out homework maybe a couple of days before. But if we don't have youth that can voice the religion, that can explain it, then how do we expect the community to learn? The youth are different. They're shy at different ages. It's the teenage years. They don't want to be different, right? You don't want to be the one standing out. You don't want to be the only one maybe in the school fasting or in your class fasting. But that's us as adults. We need to give them the positive reinforcement. We need to motivate them. We need to make them strong in their identity. This is my opinion, but they are Canadian Muslims. There's a difference. If you're a Muslim Canadian or a Canadian Muslim, you're in Canada, this is your home. Now you have to figure out how your home and your religion are going to work together. Inshallah.
Inshallah. And that takes me to another point, how we can build a new habit, a good new habit in our kids. Maybe in Ramadan, our chance, it's higher than the rest of the year.
Yes.
So how we can like if they are now praying like just the fard,
Right.
and we need to make sunnah, for example, how we
Right.
encourage them
Right.
in this month?
Some of the programs that we have, for example, again, we have Qiyam night. Okay, so we'll have a Qiyam night for the girls, and then we have Qiyam night for the boys. And in that night, they stay over at the masjid. They have adult supervision or mentors there. They will eat, they will play basketball, they will do some sports, and then they will do Qiyam. So for about an hour, right, they will stand up in prayer, they will recite Quran, and so it becomes, if we can get them to come out once a month for Qiyam night, inshallah we can get them to come out once a month for regular kind of staying in masjid and having some activity, come join a program, right? So building habit takes 40 days from what I've read. That's a long time. And so it's a great time for parents to take a minute or a few days before Ramadan and think about what habit they want to build. Something small, something that's not going to be overwhelming for the children, but something that they can keep with even after Ramadan.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So during this conversation, we talk about a lot of programs MIA
Yes.
held in Ramadan. So if we can like say it again,
Yes.
just like this question for the programs what MIA did during the Ramadan.
Sure.
So we have the iftar and we have
Yes.
Taraweeh and
Yes.
the Qiyam Layl.
Right.
What else we have?
So the youth have created something very special. We're celebrating this year the 6th annual toy drive. And what the toy drive means is that people from the community are told or asked to come and donate toys for those families that may be less fortunate and may not be able to get toys for their kids. And so the community drops off toys, the youth wrap them, they make a little card for them, and then they deliver these toys to these families. And so it's an initiative that they came up with all of them by themselves 6 years ago. And it's grown. It's tremendous how much support they get from the community. And it makes them feel really good that they're helping. And so that's a really big program that happens every year. We have lots of celebration pre-Eid. We have a pre-Eid celebration, a bazaar. So people can come and they can purchase clothes, they can get henna done and start getting ready for the big celebration. There's definitely Islamic knowledge as well. We have communities where the women, for example, are coming to do Quran classes on a daily basis in the masjid. We have speakers that we bring in from outside the community. So they will do speaking sessions maybe between the Taraweeh times or at an iftar. And so it's not just about celebration. There has to be learning. So it's a fine balance because you want community to come and enjoy, and then we want to educate them at the same time.
There is like one more collaborate with the community. I heard the Sheikh, he mentioned it in the Jummah prayer. There is like a box,
Yes.
they give it for each family,
Yes.
and the MIA will collect these boxes in the end of
Right.
Ramadan.
Right.
What that
I can talk
mean?
about that. This
Yeah.
is the first time that we're doing this. It's called the Charity Chest.
Mhm.
So of course, Manitoba Islamic Association is always looking for funds to run. It's funded by the community, most of it. And so this year, one of our board members, Muaz, said, "Why don't we do a charity chest?" And the goal would be for the family to help fundraise. So the parents can be involved, the kids can be involved. So we have people sign up for the charity chest. We give them the box. They're able to decorate it. So the point is to get together as a family and decorate this box and then carry it with you. If you go to an iftar party, if you go to a family's house, if you're going to the mall, right? And just ask for funds for MIA. And then at the end of the month, you would take what you've raised in the box. You can donate it to MIA, but you can keep the box for next year. So it's an initiative to bring families together again, to involve the kids. They're very proud in decorating these boxes. It makes them very proud to be able to decorate and paint and put pictures and write MIA. And then they're also learning the concept of charity from the youngest age, right? What does charity mean? To them, if they have a box that has a little bit of money and they put $1 in, that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And we've heard of kids who've taken all their money and put it in the box. And so they have to understand, it's not all of your money, right? It can be, but as they grow older, they'll understand. But it's the heartfelt fullness of this that they've appreciate the idea and are involved in it. So we've heard from parents that it's a great idea. This Saturday, actually, we're hoping to do a big event with a number of kids. I suspect we'll probably have about 100 kids come with their families, and we will do a combined effort of decorating boxes.
Wow.
And then that way they can take it with them, and they still have about half a month to help fundraise. But the goal was to really help them understand charity and what it means.
To speak with you today, it was like not easy. I know you are very busy because we are very close to Eid al-Fitr, and there is a lot of preparation for Salat al-Eid. And what kind of program we wait from MIA? It's
exciting. This year, we will have Eid prayer at 5 different locations.
Wow.
It was just announced yesterday. We usually have it at one major location. That location was not available, and we were able to put a number of volunteers from the community came together and said, we want to become part of the Eid committee, and we want to help solve this issue. And what we realized is, alhamdulillah, the community has grown tremendously. It would not be possible to do it in one location anymore. And so so they worked on a plan. They've introduced several locations around the city, all run by MIA. And the goal will be that everyone can be accommodated. So for example, if you have to go to work that day, because not everybody can get a day off, there's early prayers that they can attend. If you're Francophone, we're going to do an Eid prayer in French and have the imam do it in French as well. If you have the day off and you want to go to a bigger location, we have a location at Assiniboine Downs. The Eid prayer will be around 9:30, 10 o'clock. If you want to stay in your local area in the south, in the St. Vital area, there's a location there because we know that we have a lot of seniors in that area. And so we want to make sure that they have access and it's accessible to them. And so, and then there's still one downtown because we know a lot of our community could be taking the bus or they could still be walking, and we wanted to make something accessible to them in the downtown area. So a lot of preparation and thought was put into the idea, and it is our first time doing it in several locations. And so inshallah, we will have lots of volunteers and it will be a success, inshallah.
So we reached the end of this episode. I would like to give you the space if something I missed to ask you about. If you have something like notes, you want to read it for us.
Yeah,
so
excellent.
This is the right time.
Yeah, there is one thing you had asked me to kind of talk about. Maybe how do we worship in this month? And a friend of mine told me about these 5 simple steps that Imam Ibn al-Qayyim has, and it's from the steps of to master the art of worship. So we talk about remembrance, which is dhikr. You take time to do that. Gratitude and patience, so shukr and sabr. You do self-evaluation, 100% all the time. This is the month to really think about what the plan is for the next year of growth as a Muslim, right? May it be through learning through education or being more involved in the community. There's, of course, repentance, which is these 10 days that we're in right now, tawbah. And then there's love, which is mahaba. And the thought of, well, how can you show love in this month, right? Can you do something special for someone, or can you spend a little bit more time with your family and friends, make a call to someone that you haven't talked to for a long time, and your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will you do to spend some time and just dedicate your time for that? As you mentioned, time is tight. The day is short, the time is tight, and it's a good time to figure out a good work-life balance, inshallah.
Inshallah. So let me say it in our way.
Sure.
Jazakallah khair. Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you for coming today.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
I wish you have a wonderful Ramadan for you and your family, and inshallah you will enjoy the Eid al-Fitr.
Thank you so much.
We reached the end of our episode. Thank you for watching. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and wait for a new episode from Civic Platform.